Perfect. Hello, everyone. This is Apostolos, co-founder and CRO of PNOE. I'm delighted today we have with us Dr. Hanson, who's joining our PNOE podcast. Dr. Hanson is a chiropractor. He's a PNOE affiliate, and he has his clinic in Denver. Dr. Hanson, you are utilizing PNOE for the past, I believe, something like 9 months, and you are combining it with Superhuman. You're also a Superhuman user, and you are combining PNOE with Superhuman. So, as a first question, I would like to ask you if you could share with our users how do you do this, and how PNOE has been helpful in monitoring the progress of your clients who go through the Superhuman protocol. This is something of particular interest because many of our users are combining Superhuman with PNOE. So I'm extremely eager to hear your experience.
Yeah, so the Superhuman Protocol, I've been doing it for a couple of years, and the Superhuman Protocol consists of 3 technologies. We're using PMF therapy. It's a grounding type therapy with EWAT, which is exercise with oxygen, and then red light and infrared light frequencies as well. And so the Superhuman, we love doing it because we can test our patients, and I can test myself before really getting after the Superhuman Protocol. So it gives us great metrics to utilize to tell a patient, like, this is where we're at. And when we go through a 3-month, 4-month bout of Superhuman Protocol, we will likely see all these parameters improve. And so it's really nice to be able to have data to show a patient, not only are they feeling better, but also their metrics are improving, their VO2 max, rest metabolic rate, all these types of things are improving over time. And so it gives the validation of the Superhuman Protocol itself, how we can help patients from many different disease states to our elite athletes to really just the general person looking to improve their health over time. And that was one of our biggest things when I first got the Superhuman Protocol was how can we test this? Some patients, they'll feel the effects right away. Some it might take a month or 2 to really start to feel those benefits. And so we can really break it down to them and show them that their metrics are improving. The effects, are going to be there soon. But it's been a really big change for how we operate the Superhuman Protocol in our office.
Perfect. That's super interesting. And essentially, thinking in first principles, for example, red light would change the way that our body burns fat because it wakes up this mitochondria. And for example, fat burning efficiency is one of the PNOE metrics.
Yes.
And also, Dr. Hanson, another metric that we have at our PNOE reports is the biological age, right?
Yeah.
So, on a short discussion we had, I saw that, you've tried actually, the Superhuman on yourself, saw your biological age, changed some things, and then retested yourself after 4 months, I believe. So that was, it was fascinating when I heard it. So I think that this would be very interesting for our users as well, if you could, share your personal experience and the reverse of your biological age.
Yeah. So, being always in fitness and health and wellness, and I take it pretty serious. But I never was able to really test my VO2 max and some of the parameters that our cardiovascular system. So it was pretty profound when I did my VO2 max with PNOE that it was at a 31, which gave me the equivalent age of 45, and I am 40 years old. So I knew I had some work to do and some things to focus on when it came to my cardiovascular fitness. And the report just helped me break down what I needed to work on. The really cool thing is you have your health or your heart rate zones you have on your iWatch or your Apple Watch, your phones, different other devices, but it's kind of a just an estimation.
Yeah.
Whereas PNOΗ was able to really tell me where I need to be in my zone 2 and zone 4 and 5 to improve some of the metrics over time. So not only doing the Superhuman during the EWAT, I would take that in consideration and work that zone 4 and 5 much more. And so we took my VO2 max from a 31, and at the end of the 4 months was able to improve it over to 45.
Wow.
So yeah, was it 42 or 45, somewhere in there. And so it was a profound change, and that took my biological age down to 38, which was pretty cool to see, but also just feeling the energy, the focus, the sleep, all the different things that go with an improved cardiovascular system. I lost some weight, put on some more muscle mass. So it was profound. And that's what really, I was like, dang, everyone needs to be really testing their cardiovascular, because we can think one thing, but when it comes down to data, it doesn't lie to us. And it gives you that extra motivation and push to improve those metrics over time.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what you shared, doctor, is just fascinating. Like being able to reverse your biological age 7 years in just 4 months. I mean, this is phenomenal. And for for our listeners who are not familiar with VO2 max, essentially VO2 max is the maximum ability of our body to utilize oxygen. And according to thousands of papers out there and like big meta-analysis papers, VO2 max is hands down the strongest predictor for human longevity. And this is essentially the underlying logic that we calculate, that essentially this is how we're able to measure the biological age of a user who takes the PNOE test. So when you increased your VO2 max by 32, I believe you said, Dr. Hanson, to 42, this is increasing this by 10 units or by 3 meds. This is just phenomenal. Just to put these things in perspective, every time you increase your VO2 max by 1 med, according to the literature, this decreases the all-cause mortality risk by 15%. So with this transformation that you achieved through the Superhuman Protocol and through the workout and the nutrition that was essentially guided by the PNOE report, you decreased your all-cause mortality, doctor, by 45%. I can't think of a better gift to yourself than what you did. I mean, that's so inspiring.
Yes, and being a chiropractor, we talk about our, function and how can we maintain our functionality as long as possible going through the aging process, so you can be there for your family, your loved ones, your friends, everybody. And so just having a way to increase your cardiovascular system to this amount was pretty amazing, because it just gives you that, the future, like, yeah, I'll be still doing pretty well if you maintain these types of metrics going forward. So it was really profound.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And also what I find very interesting, doctor, is the fact that, it wasn't like you were not working out, and it wasn't like you were not paying attention to your nutrition, but understanding the limitations that you had at the time through the PNOE test I understand what made you focus on your cardiovascular. So I assume that during your test, you saw a cardiovascular limitation and you focused on some zone 5 training, which is some high intensity training that boosted
Correct.
your VO2 max.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. We initiated 2 to 3 interval trainings that got me into that zone 4, zone 5 over, and then 2 of those would be in the Superhuman Protocol when I was doing the EWAT training. So it was with that extra oxygen, being able to improve your ATP, mitochondria production, it really, 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 I think, took if you didn't have Superhuman Protocol, it might take you 7-8 months. On a Superhuman Protocol, you can really condense that time to see that improvement from a cellular level.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, this is really like kind of the maximum that you can increase your VO2 max in such a short period. And definitely oxygen training was key in this, because when you did those HIIT protocols with oxygen training, this was even more efficient. And so, yeah, that's such an amazing example. Doctor, I would like to ask you, in terms of your nutrition, how has PNOE helped you understand and really do this fine tuning in your nutrition? Because, apart from the training, nutrition is another very important pillar of the equation here. So I'm very eager to hear how your nutrition changed based on your PNOE test, based on your resting PNOE test.
Yeah, so with doing my resting metabolic rate, which is the 10-minute resting test, it just really helped me understand more my calorie based metabolic rate. So what my body's burning per day from a calorie standpoint. So I was able to really understand what I need to eat, and then it breaks it down too, using the breath analysis on carbohydrate, protein, fat intake, where my body needed to be. And I thought I was doing pretty well on that fat intake, but the PNOE test comes back and tells you, yep, you need to up that fat to help with that, the fat burning process. So we increased our fat, or my fat intake, and then really stayed within a much more healthier range of calorie intake as well. And I think just and maintaining that, right? So in the past, I would kind of estimate my calorie intake, and it'd be all over the place. Some days I'd eat too much, too less, and so you just in this fluctuation. Whereas when now I have hard data, I'm like, I'm going to really try to maintain these numbers to see those results. So I think I was intaking like 1,800 calories per day on a regular basis. And my PNOE came back and was like, yeah, you need about 22 to maybe 2,400 to maintain muscle mass, maintain what you're doing on a daily basis. So my body was more in a catabolic state for much of the week probably, and my body would just not have enough energy to maintain these energy expenditures that I was going through. So that was a game changer, just really being able to utilize where my calories need to be, where my fat, protein, carbohydrate for my body should be. We have all these estimations out there that we used to use, and we really are learning in medicine that it needs to be individualized to the person. Not everyone is going to be a big fat burner or carbohydrate burner, but if we do a breath analysis, we can understand their body a little bit more and give them a more precise, and myself a more precise measurements.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's amazing. And doctor, this is something that we observe a lot. Like many of our users, it's funny, but I mean, it's funny. Let me rephrase it. It's more of counterintuitive, I would say. Many of our users, after taking the PNOE test, understand that they need to eat more. We've seen that, under eating is equally common as overeating, and especially in some cases this is done in kind of circles, like several days of under eating, several days of overeating.
Yep.
But as you very well highlighted, under eating would create a metabolic slowdown, the resting metabolic rate would drop because muscle mass would be lost, and
Yep.
all these benefit from the superhuman protocol and the workout and the nutrition, the body might not be able to fully absorb this if the caloric, essentially, if the food is not aligned, if the nutrition is not aligned with all these activities. So the fact that you aligned also the nutrition aspect with your workouts and with the superhuman protocol that you were currently doing, I think that was a key of the equation as well.
Yes, yep. I think it played a huge role, and just gives you a really good guide to go by, and utilizing your own data to keep moving in the right direction, and then can retest in another 3 months. And if we're maintaining it, we're doing the right thing. If we're not, we need to go back to the drawing board. But, and that's ultimately where medicine needs to get to, is just individualized. We test,
100%.
we put it in, we put the guidelines in, and if the patient follows or the client follows, we will see results. And just knowing the data now is so awesome. And I did CSU. I went to Colorado State University in sports medicine, and we used to have our metabolic lab and everything. And back then it was a big computer, big hoses going to the mask, and all these things.
Yeah.
It's just nice to see this come around again, and just now I can do it in my clinic, I can do it in a gym, I can do it anywhere with the help of PNOE. So it's pretty remarkable where technology has come and how it's. I always used to say I'd love to do this metabolic testing, but how do you do this, you know?
Yeah.
And so now then when I found you guys, I was like, yes, this is perfect, because back then I realized VO2 Max is, like you were saying, a huge predictor of our mortality rate, how our body's going to function in the later ages. And so it was pretty awesome finding the PNOE.
I'm very glad, that PNOE has, allowed essentially to, make it more accessible for your patients, really. And doctor, this is precisely our vision too, because in metabolic analysis there is this, kind of paradox. Like, there is all this value that we know from over a century, of literature, because metabolic analysis is not something new. It has been around for over a century. And there are so many studies and analyses of VO2 max, about the value of RMR, fat burning efficiency, all 23 biomarkers that essentially PNOE measures. So what we do as a company, we make this test accessible to everyone and also scalable through our ecosystem of services, because you don't have to do the analysis on your own. You can outsource this to, to our experts, to our AI. We also have the layer of nutrition, all these, services that you've personally used, actually. Doctor, that's fascinating. On a different note, how has PNOE helped you on a business level, and how it has helped you essentially explain to your clients the value of using the Superhuman Protocol, and how it has helped you with retention? That's something that I would love to ask.
Yeah, so we were doing the Superhuman Protocol for about a year, probably without the PNOE. And we'd get a lot of patients that they would feel the effects right away. They fell in love with it, and they knew it was helping them. They could feel it on their day-to-day basis. And then we had other clientele where it would take a little more time for them to feel the benefits. And there's lots of reasons for that, from a biomechanical standpoint, from a cardiovascular standpoint, just overall health standpoint. So what we were able to do, and this is in a chiropractic practice, I do x-rays analysis to show a patient where their structures are at, what is likely causing the pain, discomfort, the nervous system disruption. And then we retake those x-rays in 3 to 6 months to show them improvements, not only from a functional standpoint, but also a structural standpoint. And so I'm always, and then we do some blood work where we can show, okay, we can see improvements in blood and these types of things too over 3 to 6 months. Using the PNOE, it's a little bit easier than blood work, and we can show them, okay, here's where your baseline is. Let's retest in 3 to 4 months after we, you go through the Superhuman Protocol, and we'll see where we're improving at, where we need work on. And so far, when we show them those improvements, they're a superhuman person for life. And so the biggest thing that you can show a person is data about what they just did over the last 3 months, how we improved it. And it was a game changer to keep the retention, or the patient, the client, continuing on to receive those benefits as well. So for us, it's the testing, where we can test before, after, show the patient those improvements, and how we can just keep taking this to the next step for their health overall. So it was a big game changer. The patients that, like I was saying in the beginning, that wouldn't feel those effects immediately, those would be the ones that tend to fall off, and they would go try something different. But if we can test them in 3 months, show them, yeah, you are improving, the physical effect, the overall effect is going to come because the data doesn't lie. We will get there, and so it just keeps them keep working at it a little bit more until we physically will feel it. But we can show them from a data standpoint that yeah, they're improving.
Absolutely, absolutely, 100%. And this is what we see, like the moment that someone is able to quantify their progress, that's it. I mean, when people see results, they are, they continue to do what, you never change a winning team, right? And this is precisely what data allow you to see and quantify. So, yeah, I mean, and also, Dr. Hanson, your example, your personal experience that you were able to reverse the biological age by 7 years in 4 months, that would be massively motivating for your patients, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's easy to talk about now that I've done it. I went through it, and really to just tell everyone that I come in contact with that you need, first of all, I believe the new standard for medicine should be everyone gets a VO2 max test, rest metabolic test, to truly understand their cardiovascular health, considering heart diseases and cancer are the second, first and second killers of the human. So yeah, it's a game changer, knowing this data, how we can improve it, and really be confident that, yeah, we do this, we're going to improve it, which is pretty awesome.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree, even with the commas with what you said. And another interesting point that you raised, doctor, is, blood tests. So many of our, users used to do blood analysis in the past. However, they saw that, with breath analysis, it's what you said, it's just simpler. There are some things that breath analysis reveals that are massively insightful, like VO2 Max and biological age. And it's like you're having your own breath analysis lab at your facility, so you don't have to send any samples to to a lab. Also, blood testing is much more pricey. Wait several days, receive some results that are not really comprehensive. So we are a big believer that breath analysis is a super, insightful way of generating these insights. It's, non-invasive, fast, easy to do, much cheaper. The unit economics have nothing to do with blood analysis. Obviously, blood analysis it provides powerful insights, and when used in combination, it's even better. But probably breath analysis is the easiest entry point for it's the easiest way to generate the first data, the first very insightful data, and it's because it's what you said. It's all about personalization and providing to the patients what they need. Not that not kind of a cookie cutter solution, but what their physiology and their body actually needs.
Yep. Yeah. I think the blood tests are very relevant too, but man, when you can just talk to a person about the Superhuman Protocol, and then the next 10 minutes you're in doing the test to get them started, is pretty awesome, where you don't have to schedule a lab test or lab visit and then you come back, and then so it makes it very, very easy to talk to them about what we want to utilize the Superhuman Protocol for, run the test immediately, and then get them started on their way to a better health, better fitness level.
Absolutely. Dr. Hanson, I really enjoyed our discussion today, all the insights that you shared. Is there anything else that you would like to add to our discussion? Any points for our listeners?
No, I think we talked about most of it. It's profound where technology is coming. I'm a big believer in utilizing this technology to betterment my patients, clients, and so it's just pretty interesting how back in 2004 when I was at CSU and we did these tests, and I thought, wow, this is pretty amazing. And then now in 2023, we're doing them in my chiropractic clinic, and taking it to that next level of sharing the data and how we improve people's lives through cardiovascular fitness. But no, it's been great working with you guys, and I look forward to many more tests and meetings with Demetrius, who is awesome, and your guys' metabolic team and experts. I'm by far no means a metabolic expert, but having Demetrius there to help explain it to our patients, our clients, is also a very big help with what you guys offer. So it kind of takes it to that next step of you're not only getting the test, but you're getting an expert to go through it with the client to break down the data, especially if they have questions. Like I said, I'm a chiropractor at heart, but I know and utilize these tests because it plays such a big role in everyone's overall health. So no, you guys are awesome. And I look forward to.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you for your kind words, and I will make sure that Demetrius, your account manager, your metabolic expert, will listen to our podcast to hear the kind words that you shared. Doctor, thank you so much for joining the PNOΗ podcast today. We had a great discussion. We just had a small technical issue the past minutes. Your video feed has froze, but the audio quality was perfect, and
Okay.
this is the important part of our discussion. But so our listeners would be able to hear, essentially the audio. Oh, now, yeah, you're back. So perfect, doctor. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
I'm very eager to reconnect in a couple of months to share some other very exciting stories on how you were able to reverse biological ages in 7 years, by 7 years in 4 months. That's just something phenomenal. Excellent, doctor. Thank you, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you. Anytime, and thank you guys very much. Have a great day.
Thanks. Bye.